So what exactly is a catalyst? Let's talk about this because sometimes it can be confusing because there's so many words out there that we can use to talk about this. So the original definition of a catalyst comes from science and chemistry, a substance that enables a chemical reaction. It drops in and it starts change. This then has become, in normal language, also to mean a person or an event that provokes or speeds significant change or action. So what I've done is I've taken those existing definitions and slightly shifted it to mean something new, which is a change agent with an unstoppable drive to action, brimming with ideas to make the world better. That's what I'm talking about here. Let me tell you a little bit about how that word catalyst came to be something that I use. To do that, I have to talk to you a little bit about my background. I was trained as a social scientist, was really focused on anthropology and ethnography, which is the study, it's a method, a tool in anthropology to study humans within their culture, right? This is kind of an old thing you hear about anthropology all the time. From graduate school, I went straight into Microsoft, where I worked as an ethnographer or corporate anthropologist. And so I got to travel the world helping Microsoft figure out how do people use technology and to think about how can we improve products and create new products. How do we innovate for the future based on the use of technology as it was existing today and the needs that people had. Once I'd been working there for a while, I began to manage people and then teams. And my love of really understanding people and their behaviors and their motivations came to life for me when I got to do that with people sitting in front of me, that I could really actually impact their life, not just study and kind of synthesize. But I had employees now, and I got to say, hey, I hear what you're telling me. It seems a little bit different from maybe what I think I'm seeing, and I could help direct and improve the course of their life. That led me to coaching. And coaching, when I first found it, was a bit of a midlife crisis for me because it felt like it was truly a calling, if you've ever had that experience. But I had this trajectory of a totally different life at Microsoft. And so while I had found coaching, instead of knowing what to do with it, I just began to apply it in the workplace at first. But after a few years, continuing to both coach and work at Microsoft, about 3 years, I finally left Microsoft in 2013 and started my own private practice where I was coaching and consulting. With Lovejoy Consulting. After a couple years working in private practice, I got really serious about figuring out who I wanted to serve more deeply, getting really specific. At the end of 2015, I was doing an analysis of the clients that I've worked with that were just my favorite, the people I had clicked with, that I'd had gotten great results with, and that we just adored each other. And when I did that, I saw that there were these patterns of people across my favorite clients, people who always had their homework done as we came in the next session, and not just what we had set out, but had just blown past it and were manifesting incredibly. People who had bold ideas, both in the workplace and in their personal lives, and were just going after it. People who really sat in optimism. It didn't mean they didn't have challenge, and sometimes they had bad days, but they sprang back up and were ready to learn from what had happened and make things better. But I wasn't sure what to call it. This didn't align to other ways that I saw coaches working. And one meeting, I was sitting down with one of the clients to do some work, and he had been part of the analysis that I had done. And he said, over the weekend, Tracy, I had a realization. I'm a catalyst. And that was it. That was where the word was born, because I had such a hard time figuring out what to call people. So in 2016, I started doing really systematic research, qualitative research, where I did interviews with people who self-identified as catalysts or change agents, to really understand what was happening for these people, and get more clear both for myself and to lean back into my research roots. So the name itself is imperfect, right? Because catalyst in that pure form around science is about changing something, like the chemical reaction of adding something. It doesn't necessarily mean to drive it forward. And I'm talking about people who not only have this need to, or they have these ideas, but they also have this need to drive it forward. So there's all these other words that you hear in the marketplace that can be proxies, right? And you'll sometimes hear me use interchangeably. Disruptor, a systems thinker, a space shifter, an optimizer, a rebel, a game changer, a spark, a change agent. You've heard me say several times already, an innovator, a stimulus, a problem solver, a troublemaker is one of my favorite names that clients will come up with, a transformer, a designer of the future. I use catalyst as the word I've landed on, but it's not the only word, and it's not perfect, as I said. As I did that research in 2016, there were 6 key attributes that came out that really showed me what it was that defined a catalyst when we get back to what is a catalyst. Number 1, these are people that piece together information quickly, and they do it within the system and the context that they're sitting. So if it's in their workplace, they're able to take in data and create ideas that move forward within that system and that context. It's a very common story to hear catalysts in the research talk about how we were all in the same meeting and I thought we were on the same page and it was so clear to me what we were going to do, and I walked out and I just got it, and I thought we were all walking in the same direction, but I realized people around me hadn't gotten there that quickly. The second common attribute that comes forward in the research is that there are lots of ideas and lots of possibilities that are constantly presenting themselves to these people. The third, they are perceived, or they have an intuition, right? They are taking in so much data, and before they've even made sense of it, catalysts can leap. They can be intuitive. And this creates a perception with other people that catalysts may not have for themselves, which is they are perceived as comfortable with risk because people think, oh, you're taking a leap before you really know. Well, the catalyst doesn't always see that as risky because they did know. They pieced together that information quickly. They saw lots of ideas and possibilities, and they were able to figure out where they should move. Others may see that as risky, and others may think that they're comfortable in ambiguity. Some catalysts are, but a lot of catalysts talk about, I don't like the ambiguity when I'm figuring out a big problem, when I'm biting it off. I just know it's part of the process, so I'm willing to step through it. The fourth big area that was shared is a drive for action that transforms. People I talk to have this purpose-led desire to make the world a better place, and that was absolutely consistent. So not visionaries that have these great visions but don't necessarily move them forward or don't know how. These are people that before they even have the clarity to voice the vision, they're moving to action. Fifth, they create vision, so they can see where they're going. Like I said, they may not always be able to say it, and that can be a learning curve for catalysts, but they are able to, whoop, information comes together, the puzzle pieces, boom, 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 I see where I'm going. And then the final piece of these 6 was that there was a very intuitive experimentation mindset. This has very different language, right? This can be experimentation from science. This can be action learning coming from psychology and organizational development. This can be design thinking in the design and innovation space. But essentially what this means is people who they're taking steps forward towards something in real time. They can take in the information that tells them whether it was a good step or a bad step, and then reroute where they need to go, maybe even change the vision as they move. So an experimentation mindset that it's not about failure, success or failure, but it's about a piece of information that helps guide the next step. So you can see then when you add these together, piecing together information quickly, many ideas and lots of possibilities, intuitive and perceived as comfortable with risk and ambiguity, a drive for action that transforms and changes, visions, and experimentation mindset, how that definition I shared at the beginning was born. A change agent with an unstoppable drive to action, brimming with ideas to make the world better. So hopefully that gives you a great sense of what a change agent is. And it's equally important for us to know a catalyst does not have to be an entrepreneur or an intrapreneur, or having started a business, or they don't have to be catalyzing change at a societal level, or an activist, right? Sometimes this word can feel bigger than people feel like they are. This is instead about a way of being. The catalysts that I've done research with talk about that this is how they have been since birth. And whether it's about looking around their home, thinking about their family system, within their workplace, or creating a new business, or social activism. We certainly can do those things. It's about seeing the possibilities and seeing how things can be better, and then having that drive to move it to that better place. And this can be difficult sometimes for people around us. And it's a way of being from birth, as far as I've seen in the research. I haven't seen otherwise. So if this resonates with you, if you go, yeah, I'm a catalyst, I'm a change agent, I'm a disruptor, I'm a problem solver, I am those things that Tracy's talking about, I, from the bottom of my heart, want to say welcome. And please reach out, because I am delighted to hear your story. I'm always looking to learn more. Thank you.